What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Dodger Heads, presented by DodgerBlue.com, part of the Medium Large Sports Network. My name is Jeff Spiegel, joined today by Dodgers pitcher Ben Casparius. Ben, your second year with the Dodgers. What's it like to be back in this clubhouse but having some major league innings under your belt?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I think in general, just, coming into camp, the vibes being great, obviously coming off a championship, being back with, these guys and getting back to work and, kind of just turning the page and getting our focus towards, Japan and playing the Cubs. It's been awesome, and I think I gained a lot of confidence and just kind of figured out what was working for me in the big leagues in a small period of time.
Speaking of what works, I don't know how much you follow this, but there's some metrics out there, Stuff and Stuff Plus, and when you pitched the other day, you had the highest ranking of anybody that pitched across Major League Baseball. Is that the type of thing that you're aware of? Does that cross sort of your radar?
Not necessarily. I knew my stuff was good that day, and I've seen a little bit of an uptick in velocity, which I think in general is just going to, help the off speed with just the movement profile in terms of that stuff. But no, it was a good day. I feel like, coming into camp, there were some things I was working on in the off season, and I think just coming in ready was something I wanted to do, whatever role it's going to be. And yeah, I felt really good that day, and I think, going forward, it's something I'm hoping I can kind of hold throughout the year.
Is the velocity something that is sort of because you're working in short increments right now, or is that something that you're sort of expecting to be able to hold 4, 5, 6 innings into starts?
Yeah, I think, it's obviously one of those things where, we hit June, July, whatever it is, however many innings I have under my belt, it'll be kind of, time will only tell. But I think in these short spurts, I feel like just the way that I'm prepping and getting ready for games is a little bit different than a start, obviously. They're obviously, shorter spurts out on the mound. So for me, it's just, fill up the zone with the best stuff I have and, get 3 guys out, 4 guys, 6 guys, however many guys it is, just pretty much as quickly as I possibly can.
This might seem like a weird question, but when you go out and your velocity does tick up, is that something that you've been intentionally working on, or do you kind of just wake up and it's like, oh man, I've gained a half a mile an hour on the fastball?
Yeah, I think that last year was kind of that big jump that I had. I think probably gained over 1.5 miles-ish last year, just opposed to 2023. And again, I don't think anybody's ever a final product and this and that. And again, too, my first year really focusing on pitching was my junior year of college or when I was 21. So I think everything's still relatively new in terms of just how old we are and how long guys have been doing this for. But yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to simplifying movements on the mounds, how am I getting ready for these games? What am I doing in the weight room leading up to that? I think too, just my goal this offseason physically was to just come in a little bit lighter, not really sacrifice strength, but I thought it would give me a little bit of an edge in terms of being a little bit twitchier and faster on the mound. And I think so far it's going well.
You mentioned not having been pitching that long. Your locker's right next to a guy, River Ryan, who's kind of in the same boat. Do you guys talk about that much? Sort of, obviously you've been playing baseball, so I'm sure you've pitched at various levels, but full-time pitchers is new for both you guys.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. I think he probably threw, honestly, a little bit less than I did. I was obviously coming out of the bullpen in college prior to when I just fully started focusing on it as a starter my junior year. But it is pretty funny just kind of how, 2 athletic guys that have pretty good arms, hey, we're going to, try the pitching thing, see what happens, see if you can repeat the delivery, this and that. So it's something I'm lucky enough to play with Riv for the past 3 years or so. And it's something we talk about all the time.
Last question for you. Obviously, with where the Dodgers and the Major League roster is at, it looks like there's a couple spots open in the bullpen. For guys like you who predominantly are starters, I imagine the plan is for you still to be a starter long term. And yet, knowing that there's spots open in the bullpen, how do you kind of thread the needle between those two things of building yourself up to be a starter, but also kind of being available if they are looking for somebody as a reliever on opening day? Yeah,
I think for me right now, it's just taking care of everything day by day, staying healthy, reading into how past outings went, what we're kind of looking to try to do, getting up and, gearing up for the year. But again, it's just, I think last year was a good example of just being versatile and being able to kind of take in a role, whether it was, late game relief, closing, a spot start, whatever it is. And I think that's just something I take a lot of pride in, is just being able to kind of, if my name's called in a role, I feel pretty confident that I'll be ready and not only have success, but just, give the team a good chance to win, whether it's whatever role it's in.
Love it. I love it. Well, that's Ben Casparius, Dodgers pitcher, again, off to a strong start this spring. So, Ben, we appreciate the time. Best of luck.
Thanks for having me.